You have really strong back pain, your doctor finds nothing, but you are truly suffering. I'm Liebscher Bracht, and we are doing a program, a gentle program, but a very effective one, with which you will notice, bit by bit, how you start to feel better. Your chances are really good. Even if it might be really hard for you, please try to go down to the ground. Especially with back pain, it's quite a tough thing, but try doing it the way I show you. Step to the side and go down slowly. Normally, as long as you maintain this angle, it is supposed to work effectively. And then you lie carefully. On your back, keep your legs bent like that. With a little bit of effort, you might actually be able to achieve that quite well. And now, you should try to gradually pull yourself further forward by using your feet to push along with your toes. That means that this angle here is becoming flatter, and you might already notice, oh, now I'm feeling it in my back again. Then you stay in that position for a few minutes and then start again. Depending on how far you manage to go, you go down as far as you can. And you should continue doing that steadily until you're lying flat on the ground. This might take around 10 or perhaps even 15 minutes. Then turn off the video briefly and try to achieve this state. If you can't go any further because it pulls into your back, then you stop there and the exercise is finished. Let's perform this together in this stance. And take deep breaths, while you try your best to keep your back perfectly straight. This means you actively pull in your belly button, and with your belly button pulled in firmly. You will notice that your lower back, known as the lumbar spine, moves in closer proximity to the mat. While maintaining the spine in that position, you gradually move your feet further away from your hips, essentially stretching your legs more and more with each step. And you steadily continue to work your way further down. However, always focus again on engaging the navel and pulling your navel actively downward towards the floor. The best scenario is for you to feel the contact between your lumbar spine and the mat. When you sense that, keep moving further downwards, okay? And you'll definitely notice, even if it doesn't happen quickly, that you're gaining millimeter by millimeter in the process. And the more you keep your back down and are able to fully straighten your legs, the more you'll find yourself out of your back pain. At least to the point where you can move normally again. Let's leave it at that for now. And now slowly start coming up again. It might be a bit difficult for you, but like this, keeping the legs bent. And as you're pushing yourself up now, you might stay a bit leaning forward because you can't stand entirely straight. Then go ahead and find yourself a wall now. I'm going to walk quite cautiously, similar to how you might be feeling right now, towards the wall. Find your balance there. Stand half a step away from the wall. Now you should do the same thing we just practiced. This time, however, you'll perform it while standing upright. You're currently attempting to adjust your lower back so that it stands straight. And gradually work your way out of the hip flexion, which may have appeared somewhat like this before. Yes, hold onto the wall, pull your belly button in, and always try to stand up straighter. Keep standing as you are now. I'll demonstrate an earlier stage for you. Just imagine you could only approach the wall in this way. Then, gradually crawl upwards with your hands and straighten yourself up more and more. And you will notice that it pulls in your back area because the hip flexor muscle is largely responsible for your back pain, as it has to give way. And the probability that the source of your back pain lies exactly in this specific issue is very high. Because if a doctor doesn't find anything on the X-rays and on the MRIs and CTs, then the likelihood is very, very high that the tension in your muscles and fascia is responsible. and they are not visible in these images. That's why nothing is often found there. Always stand straighter. Straighten out your legs more. Pull your belly button inwards and continue to stand up. More and more each time. If you have successfully achieved that position, you can start to begin very slowly and carefully to bring your hips forward. Move with caution. You'll probably sense a subtle pulling sensation in your back area. Limit this pulling into the back to the intensity you can just about comfortably endure. Then it's absolutely fine. Next, step away from the wall. Now take a few steps forward, ensuring each time that your rear leg stretches out fully and nicely extends backward. Check your hips as well. Because what you're doing now, this running, is also pulling on that hip flexor, which is too tight. Make sure to keep extending that back leg really nicely. And then, please position yourself behind a chair. And start moving your feet apart slowly until you notice, oh, it's beginning to become a bit more tense now. In a position where it's still comfortably manageable and easy, first make sure to properly align and straighten your pelvis. Pull in your belly button. And then you'll notice, when you pull it in, it pushes your groin a bit forward and the tension immediately increases. This is the position we have practiced both on the ground and also up against the wall. Attempt to maintain that position now and continue moving forward, with your feet spread apart. Shift your weight more towards the front and spread your heels just a little bit further apart. Shift your weight slightly towards the heels and spread your forefeet just a little bit further apart, gently back and forth. Yes, move very softly, but very precise movements. Continue moving further apart, and you'll feel it pulling in the groin area. It might also pull on the inner side of the thighs. That might pull on the hip joints. It can even extend to the lower back area. You continue to move your feet gradually further apart. Position the heels slightly apart forward and spread the forefeet slightly apart backward. And then return the way you came, along the same path. Very good. Now take a moment to feel into your back, moving around a bit. It's quite possible it already feels noticeably better. Yes, just move a little, and now let's go to the other side. What we've done so far is to stretch the shortening in the muscles, which manifested as high tensions at the front, and therefore ease those tensions. And now let's move to the opposite side, the back. Stay with your chair. And now, just continue to let yourself move gradually forward. If that's not really possible, then take a moment to sit back again. And while sitting, always move a little further forward. Both serve a similar purpose, that when standing, you need to be a bit more laid back than when you're sitting, because then you can just say, okay, I'm sitting now, and then gradually, inch by inch, just move forward. And now we move to the tension point, your back extensors, which are so tense because everything in the front is shortened. Now, you keep pulling yourself further forward. And then you feel the stretch in your lower back. Where you suffer from back pain, you feel it there too. You're kind of triggering it a bit as well. But don't worry. If they happen to be triggered, at the proper intensity, they will specifically target the muscles that are too short, making them both longer and more flexible. And that will eventually relieve you of your back problems. Keep sinking further forward. However, it might be the case that you're not as deep down as I just demonstrated. It might be here where you sense a pull so strong that you simply cannot progress any further. The specific spot you focus on isn't crucial. However, the area that feels tight or tense should be gradually increased a bit more each time to ensure continuous improvement. And always try to move in such a way that you feel the stretch in your lower back. And then you slowly come back, out. And now, let's make our way down onto the floor once more. I truly think it's becoming easier than it was earlier. Find a comfortable position, sit down, and attempt to gradually lean further back while pulling in your belly button. As you gently continue moving further back, feel how your body naturally adjusts to the movement. You notice you're getting a very large tension here. This is a second, besides the hip flexor, a second super important muscle that has a lot to do with your back pain. You keep going further and further down. And with the continuing downward progression, let the belly button lead the movement. The belly button essentially controls the entire process. Now you're stretching one level deeper, you could say. Pull in your stomach and keep moving backwards. Be very careful, even if you're sitting much higher than I am. Keep moving consistently further in a downward direction. All right, now let's proceed with the final exercise. You come back up again, we will use the back hero. We are essentially back to the start of this routine. Lie down. And now, let's proceed to align the head. You reach carefully under the edge at the back, which enables you to effectively help yourself in gradually turning your head in such a manner that brings the chin even more closely to the larynx, aligning it as accurately as possible. And so the head remains. And now, your attention goes to the navel. And now, you pull the navel down. And with that, your lumbar spine moves down towards the floor. And then you'll notice, when it goes down there, it wants to go up here. And vice versa. Now you have to hold your head the same way with your chin and go as deep with your belly button, so that they don't affect each other. By the way, this is not at all relaxing. This is actually something very exhausting now. You exert force to align your spine properly. And in the third phase, you proceed to move forward once again. Ensuring that your chin remains down, maintain the position of your lumbar spine down low, and you continue to move your feet further and further ahead, or alternatively slide them, or reposition your feet a bit more inward as needed. Maybe it only goes up to this point. It could be that as you lower your legs further, you begin to realize that you are unable to keep your back comfortably down anymore. Then you focus on working precisely at this point, trying your best, chin down, lumbar spine firmly down, and continuously moving your feet a little bit further away from you. And once again, very firmly, chin down, lumbar spine down. And the knees a bit further apart. However, if you notice that your legs are so stretched that your back isn't able to go down anymore, then you've gone too far. Then, gently lift your knees slightly and continue working steadily from that point onward. Chin down, lumbar spine down, and stretch the legs a bit more. So, enough done. Relax, take a little rest.